Personal financial services in America are tenuous right now.
It's a game where they win and we as Americans are losing.
I never really paid attention to how the banks take care of the money and store their Tier 1 assets.
I think that the current state of the personal financial services world is really in disarray. There are so many things that Americans just don't know about. It's not of their own fault. It's things that have been literally kept from them.
It's not uncommon if you go talk to any of the financial planners with the big brokerage firms. They don't actually own any of the product they're talking about selling you.
We've seen a significant shift of wealth from the average working American person to the financial services industry. And I think that has to do with the fact that the vast majority of Americans don't understand how financial services works. They don't understand what's best for them. They don't understand when they should do what they should do. They don't understand economic value added. And it's not their fault. It's that no one has educated them for it.
People don't know where to turn for answers. They know that what they thought they knew to be true, they're getting the idea that it may not be true. It's not working for them.
The problem really stems from a complete lack of understanding of how money works in America, how banks work, how loans work, how financing works, what Wall Street's goal is.
Once I learned that the Tier 1 assets are predominantly, that is more than half, stored with life insurance product, I began to study more deeply as to why and how that's true.
How can a rate of return being published by an investment company not show growth in their accounts?
That come to Jesus meeting needs to happen immediately. You can step back and you can look at the personal bankruptcy rate. You can look at the decline in wealth in America. You can look at the amount that the average American saves. You can look at the amount of where they save it. That time, it's way past time. They should have had that conversation 10 years ago. And it needs to be done sooner than later now.
I mean, think about it for a moment. We have a system in America where people's money is locked up over half of a lifetime in financial instruments while Wall Street skims fees even until the day that you die.
So some of the greatest misconceptions are the fees that are being paid or charged that they don't realize are there. And all of this information is slowly coming out. And I think Americans are ready to make some changes in what they're doing.
And if you were to add up all those fees, it amounts to years of lost income. If you look at the financial system, the average American will pay out over $500,000, average American, over a lifetime to banks for interest costs on houses, cars, college education fund.
Economic value added is an approach developed by Stern Stewart consulting firm. They heavily marketed it, but it's really based off a simple principle. If you're willing to pay someone else for the use of their money, why are you not willing to pay yourself for the use of your money?
I am an orthodontist, and I was trained in dentistry in the 1960s, and I became an orthodontist in the 1970s. And I was in practice living life and working hard and paying my bills and saving what I could and investing what I could.
And so when I first heard about this process, it was a few years ago when I blew it off and said it can't work, it's not real.
In 2005, I was introduced to a concept that I not only had never heard about, but had never believed would be possible.
The infinite banking process is really simple. You're simply changing what you do. You're not going to the commercial banks for money anymore. You're going to yourself.
And by June of 2006, I decided to enter that process with investment dollars, as well as with savings dollars, as well as with refinance dollars. And I've been using that process ever since.
You have to make yourself have the discipline to study the system, to understand the system, and to implement the system on a continual basis.
And now I am so enthused about what that has done for my family, particularly my children, that I feel compelled to share this process with my fellow professionals.
Privatized banking is something that empowers people with a level of understanding of how money works that could propel America into a place where we really need to get to today as a country and as a nation.
Remember that Will Rogers said, the return of your money is more important than the return on your money.